Okay, let's talk about email SMTP settings. And again, kind of like domains, this is a little bit confusing. So you want to make sure that we fully understand this because this is pretty important. This is actually, again, ClickFunnels, they use, just like they did in the previous videos, using Cloudflare.com to manage the connections between domains and hosts. We're going to use SMTP services to control all the emailing. Okay, so there is no built-in emailing from ClickFunnels. Okay, very important. This is not an optional step. Okay, we need to have our emailing set up to ensure that we're going to reach the inbox when we do things like, obviously, receipt emails, fulfillment emails, and then even later on when we talk about automation emails for cart abandonment and stuff like that. Obviously, we need to have this set up. Okay, so ClickFunnels has different options in terms of how to set up. Okay, these are third-party providers that can power your emailing through ClickFunnels. And similar to domains, we're only going to have to set this up once. We're not going to have to ever log back into any of these services that we use, but we just need to set it up once. Okay, and you can click over here, SMTP settings, to actually see what they want you to do here. There are definitely different ones, but we want to focus on the SendGrid implementation. Okay, the SendGrid implementation, it's totally free. Okay, it'll walk you through different settings over here, but basically what we're doing is using SendGrid as our platform to send emails through ClickFunnels. Okay, again, we're not going to be logging into SendGrid. We're not going to have to do anything inside SendGrid when we start. We just basically need to go over here and have a basically a setup process for SendGrid. So because we're going to use SendGrid, we need to make a SendGrid account. It's totally free. Go to SendGrid. We could even Google SendGrid free. And let's see, try SendGrid free. You're going to get 40,000 emails, I think, a month on the Forever Free plan. Let's see, 30 days. So we're coming over here into sign up. And I'm just going to create a new account here, and we'll do the free plan. Let's see. Make sure we're doing down here, try for free, okay? This is the free account sign up that we would be using with ClickFunnels, and just enter in some information over here. I'll bring it off on the other screen real quick. Just enter in my info. Okay, let's just bring it back to the next page. Got to enter in some more personal information. Okay, and I've created my free account. You want to make sure that you note down your username and your password for sure, so you can go ahead and finish the implementation over on ClickFunnels. So we'll minimize this. Actually, we need to make sure that we verify our account. So we'll go to verify account and make sure that we handle that before we go back over into ClickFunnels. Okay, so I went to my email. I just clicked the verification email that they sent, and now my account is ready to go. So let's go back into ClickFunnels now. And we're coming over into our integrations for email SMTP, outgoing SMTP, basically just means outgoing mail. And we're going to click Add SMTP Configuration, and we're going to come over here. We could name it. Okay. So over here, from name and from email address, this needs to be at yourdomain.com. Okay, so at whatever domain.com you're doing, and over here I'm going to just put actually it's just going to do that so I keep things organized. Okay, SMTP server, SMT port, SMT user, and password. Okay, first of all, I'll come back to these in a second. These are going to be your actual SendGrid username and password. So you just created that a couple of seconds ago, right? So I'll put that off in a second so you guys don't have my my password and stuff. And for the SMTP, we'll come back over here to the instructions, right? Again, this is going to tell you exactly what's going on. For the users and ports, there are some defined things that we need to enter in. Okay, smtp.sendgrid.com, everyone is going to be using that server. That's just SendGrid server. So come over here, server, paste that in, SMT port number, 587, right? These are not optional, right? These are definitive things that we have to put in here, okay? Coming down over here, SMTP domain, hard to say that fast, sendgrid.net, you guys are going to have that as well. Okay, footer, in terms of putting things in here, right, you need to have a required, if you've seen any type of email, automated email going out, you need to have basically an unsubscribe link here over here. So basically I just like putting this in. Let me actually put the short code in there. You see where it says hashtag #sub, hashtag, we're going to put that in. Okay, so you are receiving this email. Just put something very, very generic there. That's going to protect us in terms of canned spam. You need to be basically telling them why they're receiving the email and then giving them a link. This is that automatic link to unsubscribe from the email if they want. Okay, that's very important that we have that there. Okay, I'm going to go over here and take this off screen, just put in my, my information, my password, and then go ahead and submit this form. Actually, real quick, I forgot that they provide this little example. So we're going to want to just copy and paste this back into our integration step right here. This is a little change from when I had initially set it up. And then you're going to put in your information here. Okay. And we got that in here. We got our title. We got our basically our sender name, our sender email, server settings, which are defined. Username and password. This is part of your own account. Sender grid domain. This is defined. This was copy and pasted that I found inside of the instructions, inside of ClickFunnels, what they recommend to put here for your little footer unsubscribe. And then, of course, we need to go ahead and put in the our password. Oh, one more thing. We're going to set this as our default. Right? We want this to be our default email provider. Probably only going to have one. So I'll put this in here, and I'll just add my password. And I'm clicking Create SMTP Integration. Okay, I'll bring this over here. Okay, and we got our SMTP integration added inside here. SendGrid is our email integration setup. We can click in here and actually look at some of the settings. Okay, we're going to come in here and just do a verify email settings test here. What we want to do is actually come and click verify email settings. Email settings are good. We've sent you a test email. That's great. Now, where are you going to actually take a look at your emails? Right? Where do the emails come through? Well, this is going to need to be set up on your domain level. Right? Hopefully, you already have domain emailing set up. If you don't, you have a couple different options in terms of how to set it up. Okay? If you just have a domain, right, without hosting, and this is going to be people that are on Shopify, you may have already set up your domain mail. If so, of course, you could already use that, like for example, yourstore.com. If you've never set up your domain mail before, or if it's a brand new domain that you're never using, right, you need to actually have this email created, right? This funnels@seniorfitness.com would need to exist for you to receive email here. So a couple different ways that you could set it up. There's a free way and then a $5 a month way. You do a Google search for Zoho hosted email. You're going to be able to set up domain email here inside of Zoho. Basically, you connect your domain, your whatever.com, to Zoho, and then you'd be able to log in through Zoho and actually see emails from your store.com. So in this case, we would I already have email set up for my domain, obviously, but if I didn't, I could link my emailing, they call them MX records, mailing exchange records, into Zoho, and your domain would be connectable there. Okay. Another way, this is my preferable way. I don't call it Google Apps anymore, but it's the G Suite. The G Suite is for emailing. It's going to be $5 a month, and it's going to give you basically the ability to use a Google Mail interface, like it literally looks like Gmail, except you would use it for yourstore.com, right? So email at yourcompany.com, but it would look and feel like Gmail. If you're a big Gmail power user like I am, this is definitely going to be what you want to use. It will provide instructions similar to the CNAME records. Again, this is going to be MX records, right? CNAME is for where the domain points to. MX is all about the mailing, right? Emailing, where the emailing goes to. So we'd want to have this in here. You go and set up whatever email address you would want to have for your ClickFunnels report. Okay, so we're going to update this and keep this saved as is. And that's all we need to do for our emailing. So now that this is set up, right? And you should probably receive that test email. You can go in there and test it again if you had to go and set up your domain mail at either Zoho or G Suite, Google Apps. Once you have this set up, then the emails that you have set up inside your products, remember if we go into a product real quick, and we go into the product section of any product, we see that there's a fulfillment email. Now all of this information will get sent through your @yourstore.com or @yourdomain.com email account, and invisibly it's being done through SendGrid. Okay, so again, a little bit technical, a little bit kind of a lot more extra steps than a typical email setup would be with something like Shopify, but that's totally okay. We're going to do this work one time. We don't need to set it up again, and this is going to power all the emailing on ClickFunnels. So definitely required. Watch this video again if you have any questions on here. Overall, the steps are going to be linking or creating a SendGrid account, making the integration between ClickFunnels and SendGrid, and then making sure that you have your hosted email set up so you actually are able to receive that email. And that's about it.